Mr. Speaker, I'm a proud member standing here because of the free education that came about. Because at least most of the teenagers are found in schools. So to that I really appreciate.
Sorry, Honorable Member, your name again?
My name is Rabson Mulenga from Chikankata constituency.
Rabson Mulenga.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, as I was saying, I'm really appreciated to the free education that came about. Mr. Speaker, defilement is one of the eye-catching issues. So to that I say that there should be severe punishment to those who intend to defile teenagers. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I thank to the NGOs, for example, the Adaptive Youth Leadership that is almost abolishing child marriages, teenage pregnancies, and defilement. Thank you.
Okay. This side, I'll come this side, then. Yeah. Yes, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for recognizing my presence. My name is Christine Maplanga, and I'm representing Kafiro constituency. Miss
Christine
Christine Maplanga.
Maplanga.
Yes.
Okay, proceed.
Mr. Speaker, most of the solutions on how to eliminate teen pregnancies, child marriages, and defilement cases have been outlined. But for all this to be a success, Mr. Speaker, Zambia needs a campaign and a movement to eliminate teen pregnancies, child marriages, and defilement. And in this campaign and movement, there is need for everyone to participate. This includes all government ministries, chiefs, religious leaders, young people, NGOs, and communities. This will not only also make the country more dynamic and more prosperous. My humble request, Mr. Speaker, is please listen to us, the girls. Give us a voice. Understand our ambitions and support us. Understand our needs and support us to achieve our ambitions. It is simple, Mr. Speaker. Investing in girls pays off. No country can achieve its vision for the future without utilizing the talents of all its people. Do not marry us away, but keep us in school. For the future is female, Mr. Speaker. In order for all this to be eliminated, everyone needs to participate. Everyone needs to participate, Mr. Speaker. Together we stand, together we can mean as one. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to bring out the views on my constituency. My name is Memory Nakazwe. I'm coming from Kabrimponshi constituency. I would like to talk about how we can eliminate child marriage, advocates for women as community leaders. When these women are involved in being advocated to be community leaders, they will really help us because women have got knowledge on how child can be affected into child marriage. They'll be teaching their fellow women to say, if you engage your child into an early marriage, your child is not strong enough. Your child can die during birth or can have implications when the baby is being out, or even that can bring disabilities to the born baby. Also, Madam Speaker, also Mr. Speaker, I would like to talk about the defilement. Defilement under I've got a point on the moral money rituals. Money rituals, Madam, Mr. Speaker, it's also one of the causes. Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, there are those people who go, there are those people who go to seek money rituals or gain monies from witch doctors. Therefore, they instruct the witch doctors, they instruct them to go and sleep with young children, with an innocent child. That person don't have much information, they don't really know. They are very much innocent and they abuse them by sleeping with them so that they can gain money rituals. Madam, Mr. Speaker, I rest my case.
Honorable Member. Next is behind there, but
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this lovely opportunity that you've given me. My name is Christian Chileshe, representing
please speak up, Honorable Member.
My name is Christian Chileshe, representing Kapiri constituency. Mr. Speaker, improper dressing of a girl child. It's so embarrassing to see in our generation to see how we walk down the street We have forsaken our Zambian traditional culture. We have forsaken our Zambian traditional culture, which is of dignity, and we have adopted the Western culture. Mr. Speaker, it's so embarrassing to see girls wearing tight dress and short skirts, which this trend it has even gone into schools because they say charity begins at home. Mr. Speaker, therefore, we should.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Therefore, I propose that the government and the Minister of Education should put up the law on the improper dressing of a girl child, because school is a place where we learn good things, and if they are left unchecked, it will be a bleeding place for bad habit and bad character. I rest my case.
Honorable Member Tabaka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The one at the back.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Betty Ngandi, representing Chawama constituency. Mr. Speaker, I would like to applaud the government for introducing the free education and re-entry policy. Mr. Speaker, but are there really enough schools for the children to go to? No, Mr. Speaker. So I would like to urge the government to build more schools in the rural areas as well as in the urban areas. For example, in my constituency, Mr. Speaker, Chawama, which is the only secondary school which was recently opened by Her Honorable Mrs. Tasila Mwansalungu. Mr. Speaker, the school is not yet finished, which is making it impossible for parents to find enough places for them to send their children to school. So I would like to urge the government to finish that secondary school in my constituency, Chawama, so that the parents may find an opportunity for their children to go to school and get the proper education that they deserve. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
Honorable members, we need to start winding down. I want to call as many members as possible so that we are all given an opportunity to debate. But please, if your point has already been debated, even if you have 1 point, I like the honorable member from Kapiri, who has just debated. He had 1 point, delivered 1 point, and rested his case. So if your point has already been deliberated upon or has already been pointed out by other members, please do not indicate so that we save on time. I'll call 5 members from this side and 5 members from this side, and then we conclude. And please, let's be as brief as possible. Speak to the point. Thank you. The Honorable Member at the back there.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. My name is Romba Evangeline, representing Chikankata constituency. Mr. Speaker, sir, here with me, I have several solutions to end teenage pregnancy. Mr. Speaker, sir, the first point is abstinence. Mr. Speaker, sir, I strongly say that children should be taught on the effects and causes of teenage pregnancies and strongly saying no to sex. Mr. Speaker, sir, my other point is that setting goals and principles. Parents should nurture their children in terms of dressing code, like telling them to put on decent clothes. Mr. Speaker, sir, my second point is that
Point of order.
Mr. Speaker, sir,
A point of order is raised.
Mr. Speaker, I feel you made it clear to say we should not repeat on what has already been said. And I feel the honorable member is just talking about some things that have been already stated. So please, Mr. Speaker, the honorable member should say something else that we should be able to learn from. Thank you.
Let me take advantage of that point of order to guide once again that let us bring out new points. If your points have been exhausted, there's no need for you to debate. So let's bring out new points. Honorable Member, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I feel that parents should appreciate their children by telling them that they love them and they are special, so that this boy, when he comes to propose a lie to you, that you are the most beautiful girl in the whole world, you may able to say that. You can be able to say that no, because you know what you want in life. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Okay, proceed, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving this great opportunity to add my voice on the stated motion. I'm Honorable Oscar Seven, representing Chikankata constituency.
Oscar who?
Oscar Seven.
Seven?
Seven.
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 Yeah.
Oh, okay.
With me here, I have some solution to eliminating child marriages, teen pregnancies, and deferment. One solution, Mr. Speaker, is to provide support and resources to young people who are at risk of getting into marriages at a tender age. This may include counseling, financial assistance, and giving them support that may help them to stay in schools and achieve their goals. In addition, Mr. Speaker, it is important for the government to work with community leaders and traditional leaders to change some cultural attitudes and norms that supports these bad practices. This may include the government working with community leaders to develop some laws and policies that may protect young people. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, it is important for the government to work in hand with the community leaders to eliminate child marriages and make up some policies, strong policies that may protect young people from child marriages. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member there. Then next will be at the back there, the lady.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Tamukwa Kangwachungu. I'm from Trauma Central Constituency.
Your name again, Honorable Member?
Tamukwa Kangwachungu.
Kangwa.
Sorry. Tamukwa Kangwachungu.
Tamukwa Kangwachirungu.
Yes.
Okay, proceed, Honorable.
I made most of the points that my fellow members here have the money of about one. And that is supporting the vulnerable teenagers in the community. For example, if you find a teenager, let them isolate themselves, communicate with them, do not let them be alone, help them to be strong and report the problem to the police. That is my case.
At the back there, the lady.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for according me an opportunity to add my own voice to the motion which states eliminating child marriage, teenage pregnancy, and deferment. My name is Jenny Nyambe from the Chawama constituency. I'll talk about deferment, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, something that the government is not doing. Mr. Speaker, I would like the government to urge bachelors to marry, especially those who are of age to marry, so that they will prevent themselves from having sex with young children. And also, Mr. Speaker, it will also encouraging sex between husband and wife will also prevent parents, most especially husbands, from having sex with their children. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, that's a new point, eh? The last debater on this side is at the back there. The lady, yes?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to add my voice on the motion which has been moved by the mover. My name is Anastasia Tembo, representing Chama constituency from Chama Secondary School.
Your name again, Honorable Member?
Anastasia Tembo.
Anastasia Tembo.
Yes, Mr.
Thank you.
Speaker, my fellow honorables have said a lot about influence on media. What I could appeal to the government is we have an organization called ZICTA. If the ZICTA will play their law in the media, these cases would reduce in cases of like watching pornography. If the ZICTA take up these issues, this could reduce. Mr. Speaker, I rest my case.
The gentleman at the back.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for according me this opportunity to add my voice to the motion presented to the House. My name is Theodore Shimwa, and I come from Chinika Secondary School, and I represent the Kanyama constituency. I would love to line myself on simply one point.
Theodore Shima?
Theodore Shimwa.
Shimwa. Okay.
Yes.
Please proceed.
I would love to rest on one point which concerns early marriages. Ladies, Mr. Speaker, sir, we might realize, and I believe the fellow members will agree with me, that to a certain extent, this practice has been normalized in our communities. We no longer take it as something new. We no longer take it as something wrong. We no longer take it as something that is out of the ordinary, but rather we simply accept it. And this has gone deep into even the minds of our young ones, the minds of our youths. To a certain extent, Mr. Speaker, sir, I believe strongly that this might be more than just a practice that is there, but it might be a practice that is being passed down from generation to generation as we just normalize it and take it to be something that is normal. Suggest to this, as my fellow members may have stated, I would love to quote a very common statement that says, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. May I appeal to the government that let them look into this matter and let them provide something for the youths to be busy with self-empowerment, with self-improvement, rather than letting them off, because in that way they'll be able to go out there and look for pleasure, look for fun. Let us provide for them these skills development centers so that they may develop themselves and develop the community. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Mark Ngwai, and I will be representing the Gawata constituency.
Your name again?
Mark Ngwai.
Mark Ngoya.
Ngwai.
Ngwaya.
Yes.
Okay.
I am here to encourage the government to influence the parents about child marriage and defilement and teen pregnancies. Because many Zambians, they also watch the news media, so obviously they can, if the parents can be influenced, they will influence their children to not partake in such. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity that you've given me. My name is Rebecca Banda, and I'm representing Choma Central constituency. Mr. Speaker, like my fellow honorables have said too much about the government, I think as children can also sensitize our schools, communities, and traditional leaders through art. What I simply mean by through art is through sketches, poems, drama, and also traditional dances and also songs. Mr. Speaker, I have something to say to the girls watching me, hearing me on radio, and also to the girls here. Books before boys, because boys bring babies. And also to the boys, books before girls, because girls bring problems. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable member at the back.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to add my voice on this motion. My name is Jorwe Piri, representing the Chikankata constituency. Mr. Speaker, we need effective family and community mobilization to support change. It is through effective laws and government policies. Mr. Speaker, these laws and policies should be made known to the young people, parents, and the communities. Mr. Speaker, government should provide girls with their educational health needs, and support them to achieve their needs. I rest my case. Thank you.
The honorable member there. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to debate on the motion stated. My name is Shamal Shomo, representing the Shikankata constituency. And Mr. Speaker, I'm going to look at only one point, Mr. Speaker, and that is we can eliminate teen pregnancies and early marriages by parents making sure that they're taking care of their children. Mr. Speaker, parents shouldn't neglect their children. They should support them, especially financially, especially girl children. As all the girls know here, as girls, we every month we have our menstrual periods, and if our parents don't support us financially, where are we going to find the money to buy sanitary pads for our periods? So our parents should make sure they support us financially, so that we don't think of an idea of getting a boyfriend to support us with that while we have parents. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I see we still have a number of people indicating to debate, but we are a house that is governed by rules, and when it is time for us to wind up debate, we need to wind up debate. And that time has come. I wish that we had all the time to allow each and every honorable member to add their voice. But what I'm confident in is that the points have been delivered and the message has been sent out there. At this point, I would like to call upon the mover to wind up debate. The Honorable Chairperson. Mike.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker, sir. Allow me to conclude on what the honorable members have said today. Chamber of Intellectuals, and indeed, Mr. Speaker, sir, I believe that for us to eliminate child marriages, defilement, and teen pregnancies, parents should spend more and quality time educating their children on sex education, because indeed, an honorable member said, charity begins at home. If parents educate their children, it would be easier for them to understand sex education and understand the implications and the negative effects about having sex whilst you are a child. Hence, you might find that teenagers may stop engaging themselves into sexual activities. Another point is that the community should spend less time criticizing, discriminating against, or stigmatizing people who are victims of defilement. Because these people who are victims of these vices end up traumatized and cannot think properly. And if the community continues to discriminate against them, they might end up depressed and hence killing themselves. Mr. Speaker, sir, and indeed honorable members present today, I believe that if we protect victims and we help them understand that the people who did that to them have been apprehended, they might feel safer, and it would lessen the probabilities of them ending up killing themselves. Another point is that the media should educate people on the penalty of defiling a child. The media is the biggest way for information to spread all over the world, and I believe that the media has done the most in educating people. Sensitization programs by NGOs and the government have been implemented in rural areas and as well as urban areas, and I believe that today as we are speaking, more and more is done to end defilement, early marriages, and teenage pregnancies. Sensitization is taking places in rural areas. Mr. Speaker, sir, and indeed House of Intellectuals, I believe that for information to be spread, we need the people to understand first. Mr. Speaker, sir, when people understand the implications and the negative effects of these vices, we find that we're making Zambia a better place today and tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, sir, another point that was raised by an honorable member is that in rural areas where most people are supposed to be, where most people are not educated.
Honorable member, please wind up debate. Wind up.
In conclusion, the government should do more and sensitize more people so that early marriages should be eliminated in Zambia. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir.
I put the question. The question is that this House urges the government to eliminate child marriages, deferment, and teen pregnancies. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Before I call upon Her Honor the Vice President, I wish to announce to the House that after this event, after the House adjourns, all of us are going to receive certificates of participation. So after the Speaker's procession goes out, remain in your seats, and the members who are in the galleries should come down into the chamber so that we issue certificates of participation. Honor the Vice President, adjournment.
Mr. Speaker, sir, my name is Kalumbo Kalei, and I beg to move that the House do now adjourn.
The question is that the House do now adjourn. Any debates? Any objection? The question is agreed to. The House is now adjourned.
Good afternoon. Okay, my name is Anthony Mpolokoso, and I'm the Deputy Principal Clerk in Public Relations. Okay, I'm waiting for Mr. Ansofwa. Is Mr. Ansofwa? Mr. Ansofwa?
The second session of the 13th National Assembly, which adjourned Sindia on Friday, 16th December 2022, will resume on Tuesday, 14th February 2023 at 14:30 hours. Members of the public are therefore encouraged to follow the proceedings on the following platforms. That's DSTV Channel 272, GoTV Channel 100, Topstar Channel 5, and on the National Assembly of Zambia Facebook page. Parliament Television, bringing Parliament closer to you.
National Assembly announcement on the timetable for the long meetings of the standing committees of the second session of the 13th National Assembly.
The following are the dates of commencement of some committees. The Committee on Agriculture, Lands and Natural Resources, 16th to 27th January 2023, in Robinson Namuliato Committee Room. The subjects will be the effectiveness of the Veterinary Services Department in combating livestock diseases in Zambia. Cabinet Affairs Committee, 16th to 27th January 2023, Wesley Nyirenda Committee Room. The implementation of the National Monitoring and Evaluation Policy in Zambia. Government Assurances Committee, 16th to 27th January 2023, in Thomas Williams Committee Room. Consideration of outstanding assurances and considerations of new government assurances. Planning and Budgeting Committee, 16th to 27th January, Committee Room 5. Review of the third and fourth quarter budget performance for 2022 for selected ministries and spending agency.
Stay connected to the ones you love this festive. People like Erling and Roman. There's Alvin and this funny bunch too. Stay connected to Magdalene and Joshua.
That is too smooth.
People like us, people from our own backyard, and the big stars as well.
All feels pretty great.
So stay connected to DSTV and get at your free upgrade Wulimu. It's your festive moment with DSTV.
Onoyo constituency, we profile Lusaka Central constituency, which covers the central and eastern parts of Lusaka and has a population of 117,097 as of the 2010 census. Lusaka Central constituency houses the biggest hospital in the country, the University Teaching Hospital UTH. It is in this constituency that you find a number of institutions that offer tertiary, primary and secondary education. A walk or drive in Lusaka Central constituency gives the constituents an opportunity to shop from a number of shopping malls dotted around the area. Lusaka Central constituency houses the highest number of malls in Lusaka. This is the Lusaka Central constituency office situated off Mutabatuba Road, plot 10945 Woodlands Extension. The office is a meeting place for the Member of Parliament and the constituents for the purpose of sharing ideas and information to enable the Member of Parliament carry his or her duties effectively. Some of the Members of Parliament that have served under Lusaka Central constituency include Mr. Deepak Patel from 1991 to 2006, Mr. Guy Scott from 2006 to 2016, Mrs. Margaret Manakatwe from 2016 to 2021, and the current Member of Parliament is Honorable Mulambo Haimbe State Council. Honorable Haimbe is passionate about serving the people of Lusaka Central constituency.
We, of course, being hosts of not only residential areas but also business areas, we have quite a few interesting features in the constituency. And of course, given how vast it is, for example, if we talk about State Lodge, we actually have some of our constituents who sit on farm properties. So that would give you a clear indication of the unique nature of the constituency. We have, of course, this State House, as I mentioned earlier. The citadel of power actually sits in Lusaka Central constituency, which makes it extremely unique. You have Cabinet Office, you have the Republican President, both office and home are within Lusaka Central constituency. You might want to know that Community House, where the President currently resides, is in Luwa Ward, where we are sitting today. We have the Central Business District, which I think is a key feature of the constituency and of us all as Zambians, where we have seen that there is quite a bit of work that needs to be done, and pooling of stakeholders. Currently the CBD does not reflect what Lusaka was meant to be, which is the garden city, and so that is where we have key priorities also in making sure that we align the way the CBD appears, the way we do business in the CBD with the image of Zambia as a whole, the way we want it to be. We have some of the best hotel infrastructure sits in Lusaka constituency. Of course, you have the Pamosi Hotel, amongst others, the newly refurbished and what was previously known as Intercontinental Hotel, amongst others. Quite a bit of unique entertainment, several shopping malls. We have some of the also key institutions, which is crucial as well in terms of learning facilities. Evelyn Horn College, NIPA, Lusaka Business College, and several others. So all in all, and of course then we have the residences. And speaking of that, we have a huge disparity, which I think we all have to work towards as being persons that are involved in the well-being of the constituents of Lusaka Central. To bridge that gap, there is a huge disparity. On the one hand, you have areas where we have very, very vulnerable people. Talk about Bauleni, talk about Chilulu, and then on the other you have the very affluent. But one of the plans that we have is to say, how can we bridge that gap and bring a balance between these people? The well-being, basic matters of well-being of the people of Lusaka Central. So those are, I think, the interesting features that we can talk about, in addition to just the mere fact that we have so many different Zambians and people living in Zambia of diverse personality that make Lusaka Central what it is.
Honorable Haimbe highlights some of the challenges Lusaka Central constituency faces and how he intends to resolve them.
I think Lusaka Central can't be set apart from the general challenges that you find in Lusaka district. Perhaps our uniqueness comes from the fact that we are, as I repeatedly mentioned, at the very heart of the district. So the challenges are the same perennial challenges that you see anywhere else. Water and sanitation challenges, challenges with the health institutions within the constituency, challenges with recreation facilities, which of course has a direct bearing on our young people and what they do for a living, what they do on a day-by-day basis. Do we have enough areas of interest for them to avoid them involving themselves in the vices that we see, drug abuse and so on and so forth. We also have infrastructural challenges like everywhere else. We have had the opportunity to sit in town hall meetings in Lusaka Central Constituency. We've had about 8 or so for each, 2 per ward over the period since I was elected into office. And we learned from those town hall meetings, for example, that some of our learning institutions below tertiary level have got challenges with simple things like desks and the likes. And so those are, I think, some of the key challenges. Of course, one of the biggest in terms of also when you talk about the aesthetic looks of the constituency is the solid waste management challenge. We have way too much garbage that we have to deal with. We are working with key stakeholders to find a way of dealing with it once and for all. Also, the other challenges with space. We don't have space in Lusaka generally, and the city is expanding. Lusaka Central is no exception. So people want amenities such as Leopards Hill Cemetery is full as we speak. What are we going to do in order to address that particular challenge? And people are looking to us as representatives to have solid solutions to that. And finally, we are seeing an increasing amount of work that's needed to be done on the key roads. You'll see, for example, that Leopards Hill Road, Twin Palm Road, talk about Nagasea Road in Fairview area, and some of the other roads in the key residential areas as well as the trading areas who need dire attention. Talk about Makishi Road, which connects North Mead to the Great North Road, to the Emmerdale police area. It's in a terrible state, deplorable state. All those need attention. And then, of course, there's a creeping phenomenon of security. I have had complaints which are very growing in voice and loudness from, example, the residents of Chalala, who say because of the poor state of the road and because of the poor state of lighting, we are seeing an increase in criminal activity. And that is, again, something that is not only common to Lusaka Central, but to Lusaka as a whole, and needs to be addressed from a holistic perspective. The projects, interestingly, are obviously now driven by the work that's being done in terms of the CDF funds. So the people themselves have determined what they want done. And of course, like I already mentioned, top on the agenda is water and sanitation issues. For example, the biggest block population in the constituency being here in Bowland Township has got a key challenge in terms of having potable, clean drinking water, even in this day and age. That is a key priority. And we were elected on the backbone or on the foundation of attending to the basic social needs of the people of Zambia. And of course, that is going to be an obligation on our part as well here in Lusaka Central Constituency. But I think one of the key areas that we want and need to address properly is the plight of our youth and women. They are building blocks for any society, any community, and for us they continue to be a priority. Of course, that's not to say that the men will be ignored, but really at the end of the day, there are great expectations of what we'll do for the youth. So one of the things that we are planning to do is to work very closely with stakeholders, well-wishers, who are willing to put in a little bit of effort to improve the welfare of our youth and women through various empowerment projects, through the creation of areas where they can find leisure for the youth, for example, and recreation, like I mentioned, and skills development at the same time.
The Member of Parliament has a word of appeal to the people of Lusaka Central constituency.
My appeal is that we are doing a lot, and a lot of this work that we are doing can be verified from the commitment that we have
They have complained that they don't see us enough times, but as we go into the remaining period of this term, it is promised that we will be more available to you, and you'll be able to see the reason why you cast your vote, or the reason that you didn't, as the case may be. They should not lose hope, because the New Dawn government and myself as Member of Parliament for Lusaka Central, I'm fully committed to their needs. Day and night, 24/7, we want to make sure that we bring a better life for all of us. We deserve it as Zambians.
Mr. Chanda Chanda is a professional assistant at the Lusaka Central Constituency Office. He works hand in hand with the Member of Parliament and now highlights his role as a professional assistant.
Well, my role as a professional assistant is just basically to assist the area member of parliament in running the constituency. It also entails that my role as his professional assistant and the role that I hold as professional assistant for the office of the area member of parliament is to also ensure that we facilitate the programs for the honorable member of parliament. We ensure that also his diary is according. We also ensure that whatever he has to attend to in the constituents is updated and he's up to par with every matter that is coming through the office.
Mr. Chanda now talks about the significance of the constituency office.
Okay, so the constituency office is very important in the aspect that it is a meeting place for the area member of parliament and people in the constituency. It bridges that gap between National Assembly and the constituents, because the constituents are able to come here and meet their member of parliament and discuss developmental issues concerning the constituency and the country at large. In terms of how often people come to this office, if you look up some time back, you realize that this office was along Matusanga Road. But with this new location, now we have a lot of people coming through the office, especially that it is now accessible and it is also visible to the constituents. So on average, we have 25 to 30 people now visiting, especially with the CDF issue going around the country. And it's been quite a good show up of people. As you are aware, the constituency office is not in any way political. It is an office for everyone, regardless of party affiliation. The area member of parliament is a member of parliament for every constituent in this constituency. Therefore, everybody is advised to come through to this office and table their matter before their member of parliament.
The constituency office is a mechanism for effective and a regular link between parliament and the constituency.
New year, experience a whirlwind of emotion on Zambezi Magic.
Congrats, eh?
When good people prosper, we love to see it. We delight when justice is served. And blossoming romances warm our hearts. This year, Zambezi Magic is alive with emotion.
She's fighting for every breath.
And you won't want to move when the entertainment is this good. Weekdays, race to your screens for sensational showtime. And a new year means new shows to look forward to. Real emotions, real lives, really Zambian. Zambezi Magic. Stay connected to DSTV Channel 162 and GoTV Channel 5.
Stay connected to the ones you love this festive. People like Erling and Roman. There's Alvin and this funny bunch too. Stay connected to Magdalene and Joshua.
That is too smooth.
People like us, people from our own backyard, and the big stars as well.
All feels pretty great.
So stay connected to DSTV and get at your free upgrade Wulimu. It's your festive moment with DSTV.
It's brand new entertainment for a brand new you this 2023. Join dancing sensation Oti Mabuse as she travels through South Africa, introducing us to friends and family.
Growing up good was never enough. We had to push ourselves. We had to be the best.
Fire up a feast with Chef Nico as he creates mouth-watering barbecue masterpieces, from brilliant breakfasts to delicious desserts.
My favorite thing about this recipe is the combination. And you can add this to your barbecue repertoire and thank me later.
Unravel the mysteries as a humiliated detective gets banished to the town of Three Pines to solve a series of gruesome murders.
Secrets lead to lies.
The truth is in what we don't see.
And dive into the dangerous with an exhilarating expedition from Seattle to Russia on Human Story Saturdays.
Walking through these temple and garden grounds, you feel kind of this zen.
Stay connected to the best TV for your best 2023 with DSTV.
Parliament TV, bringing Parliament closer to you.
Sister, my name is Rene. I'm a consequential guy in this country because I spread. You're cheating on much now. He doesn't have manners. Like, how can he touch a stranger's door? Oh my God.
Relax.
Still call her. That's the.
I'm a good person.
You can clean my car.
Hey! I'm killing my dog. Massage me, that's all. Yeah.
Mr. Zambia. My name is Chile. Hello. Shimika Jomfu. Waya. Shakwata pwechuma. Elungu wa mawala. Yosani nenkulomba. Mwana owe wana kusekatu kakatu wala kuisaka kachakolwa yelele. Welo kafi kote kabusa kaka makaka kamone kafenga kaka wala. Kwato lupili lula chepa. Weparia uva kapilipili shetani wilaya ngalila kumaume wani. Ngachari pukuta chipu wachani. Chili ule chanjo. Mutima wali sale chakufala wasende jabazala ula. Wasuka wala manako. Come on kiss me baby ule kala manako. Come on na bebe wala manako. Tekupanga shijuna wala mwenako. Wasuka wala manako. Come on kiss me baby ule kala manako. Come on na bebe wala manako. Tekupanga shijuna wala mwenako. Baby wali mpesha. Napino kusuminati. Nine wasala. Ali bonse pachano wasala pokusumina kapondo wasula. Ndana likweta makala takuteke chano nganyuwe nakateka. Ula pepe la koti aijumu kuwa wanji wanitemwa. Njero fishu wa monamo. Muli nebu fishu monamo. Nalishiwa walishiwa tisha wanomo. Njero nishiwa venda soho. Fishu wa monamo. Muli nebu fishu monamo. Nalishiwa walishiwa tisha wanomo. Mami nishiwa venda soho. Baba wasenge baba ukuwa mechalonge for chab chila baba kalumba fiema baby you are one in you baba wasenge baba ukuwa mechalonge for chab chila baba kalumba fiema baby you are one in a million kumasuba jelo barantinga yangala na bafyongo ne fiamba tikapone sana mami lene wabanyonga ponte pe bayombo kumvelela alani ne kakabwanala ndangala na baganja no bwalwa kifyongo no kupaso musumi kona pitila tikapondo sana mami kuline ishu konkako wakola nkanya no kupepako utila fukamana tupepeko ukachinga wange nje bafishu wa monamo Muli nebu fishu monamo Nalishiwa walishiwa tisha wanomo Njeva nishiwa vela soho Fishu wa monamo Muli nebu fishu monamo Nalishiwa walishiwa tisha wanomo Mami nishiwa vela soho Vena wale mona kembo kabwala ala time waster Amagelo kule senda kwa tam lestan Emani na chansi no lempanapo Kwa Simon pide fo balenkanapo Nadi suicidal, shaishibe Bible Slow nigga syndrome, chila de idol Twice ipunka, na isa isanga Cut a long story short, na isa samba Abaturi pama bubu na bay Yonse la viba oja mude Maninko fulu kalo was for the day Dina bandulo sonkolo pe Tetimbepe wadin chindamika Katube united kwati chingadika Natinkutase nomba no dudia bwaida Wale mona shefu wa mwene Mr. Kaida Njova fishu wa monamo Muli nebu fishu monamo Nalishiwa walishiwa tisha wanomo Njova nishiwa vela soho Fishu wa monamo Muli nebu fishu monamo Nalishiwa walishiwa tisha wanomo Mami nishiwa vela soho Chicago.
When he beats go crazy.
Knockout.
If you waba wonsenge fyo baba ukuwa mechalonge fo chab chila baba baba ya kalumba fya my baby you are one in a million 44G music.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, yeah. My name is Jupiter. Aliense, alinako kamusango. Kulibana bado alipefeketi pachalo. Aliense, alinako kamusango. Kulibana bado alipefeketi pachalo. Mumulangi zeko, mumupuzi zeko. Akalufanya mumulangi zeko. Oza munyoza mumupuzi zeko. Mumulangi zeko, mumupuzi zeko. Akalufanya mumulangi zeko. Oza munyoza mumupuzi zeko. Said I know, yes I know that I'm not perfect. Kuliving to ninajita, yes I regret it. However young as a drama, monga for TV. In a real life, yeah. Real life. Nika pishamo, niva mbili vene naluvyanya. Some believe, sending them to amoshe. My story mbwe, na maruma mbwe. I'm not trying to sound smart or something, but in his own. Alinako kamusango. Ibana bado alipefeketi pachalo. Aliense, alinako kamusango. Ibana bado alipefeketi pachalo. Mumulangi zeko, mumupuzi zeko. Akalufanya mumulangi zeko. Oza munyoza mumupuzi zeko. Mumulangi zeko, mumupuzi zeko. Akalufanya mumulangi zeko. Oza munyoza mumupuzi zeko. Yes I know, Pima lako ni machungwa just I know. Pina ni mazo, pina ni yes I go. Let he without sin be the first to throw us down on me. Tuleba ntufye, tulebe na kulewa. Kulebe anabadwa solola. Leushanga uza kolola. Natumukonda muyako, akalako.